Good morning, it's April 22nd, Friday, and this is To My Liberal Friends, and I'm John Haddo. You know, the midterms are coming closer and closer, and that means politicians get more involved in things and get a little nervous. A couple things have been happening this week. Down in Georgia, a group of voters have brought a lawsuit before an administrative law judge in an attempt to bar Marjorie Greene from running for re-election. Now, they claim that she said inflammatory things, that she's basically a nutcase, and I won't disagree. I think she is a little far right and a little nutty. But if we're going to start removing and barring from re-election all the members of Congress that are a little crazy, a little nutty, we're going to be down to about 150 members of Congress. If you don't think that Maxine Waters is a little crazy, you haven't been listening to her. If you don't think Ilhan Omar, AOC, Cori Bush, some on the far left are nutty, then you haven't been listening. Let's remember Hank Johnson, the Democrat from Georgia, who once said he thought the island of Guam might tip over based on how much stuff the Navy was put on there. Actually said that in a hearing. Asked the admirals if they were worried about that. So the voters get to decide whether somebody's going to represent them in Congress, not some administrative law judge. This suit is baseless and should be thrown out. I agree she's a nutcase, but let the voters decide. Then we go to redistricting. In Florida this week, they passed a new congressional map that's probably going to add 4 more Republican seats. And immediately, Democrats are crying, gerrymandering, gerrymandering. It's criminal, but they're going to forget what the Democrats did in New York, in Maryland, and California. In New York, they lost a seat, but somehow added more Democratic seats. California did the same. They lost a seat, but somehow more Democrats are going to get elected in California. Illinois is doing the same thing. Maryland tried to eliminate the only Republican seat. Look, drawing districts by the legislatures is always a political game. And if you want to win that game, then the key to that is win the legislature. But then don't go around crying wolf and gerrymandering when your side does it in some states and it's okay, but it's bad when the other side does it. And both sides play that game. And we'll see how these elections turn out. The next thing that comes out is Democrats are in full panic mode. They really are. Representative Ro Khanna, who is a very liberal Democrat from California, he's out there saying we got to do something. And he talks about the Build Back Better bill and maybe bring a scaled version of about $2 trillion back. He says, pick a couple of them and just deliver them. Because he says, our young activists are getting discouraged. They're not going to come out and vote. So he picks on the one they love most. Quote, that means getting done the student debt relief. That's so obvious. It's such a no-brainer. End quote. Now, what do you think they're doing by abolishing student debt? They're trying to buy the votes of these young people. Hey, remember us? We're the guys that abolished your debt. Now, what about the young kid who became a plumber? The young kid who became an electrician? A sheetrocker? Some of them actually own their own businesses. These were the kids, these college kids laughed at in high school, but now they want their taxes to forgive their debt. Elizabeth Warren, another well-known progressive Democrat in the Senate, she's warning in an op-ed in the New York Times of deep-seated losses for Democrats if they don't move on their agenda. And of course, that includes student debt relief. She wants to lower drug prices. She wants to get into health care and get free health care. She wants a climate bill. All this stuff because she thinks that will get their base activated. But guess what? In a report out Wednesday, David Wasserman from the nonpartisan Cook Political Report indicated that more house seats are now shifting to Republicans. And even some districts where Biden won by double digits, they're going to be in play. And so what's the reaction down at the White House? Well, White House officials know that gas prices are killing them out there. And so some have called for a suspension of the federal gas tax and even sending prepaid gas cards to the public. This is ridiculous. If you do away with the federal gas tax, you're going to have to replace that money somewhere else. It just adds to the national debt. Now, Biden hasn't agreed to these, but he's getting this kind of advice from these woke staffers that surround him. And it's going to be of minimal impact to consumers. And some Democrats even realize that's a stupid idea. But that's not going to stop them from trying to do stuff and give away your tax dollars to try and buy votes. We are fully into the election cycle, and here we go. This has been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening.